exploring this creative thinking. What are some of the ways that you're going to explore creative thinking? That's what I'm coming up with. Number one, and very important, remember when you talk about creative thinking, it will all add up to solving problems as you did yesterday. So, how do you become creative? Number one, how will you exploit? Number one, gather every information that you have. If you're faced with a problem, do not just run into solving it. Become creative. You will only be creative if you gather enough information. If you don't gather enough information, you will do what everybody else is doing. So gather the information that you already have. Which information do you have? What naambia watu hata ukienda first aid, gari imeanguka. When you go there, you don't start treating that person. You start by gathering information around you. So gather the information. After you've gathered the information, as I said, tutakuwa tunaenda haraka. After you've gathered every available information for you to show that you're a creative, consider the obvious solutions. Consider the obvious solutions or process. What is the obvious solution? What is the obvious process? Remember, we want to be creative here. We want to stand out. We want to do things different. Therefore, you will only do something different if you know what is obvious. So consider the obvious solutions. These will work as a foundation. These will work as a foundation. Once you get these obvious solutions that are always there, now this will be your base. This will be your foundation of creating something new. I can see Manu writing very clearly that. Now, the third and extremely important point here is to brainstorm. I heard the mentor talking about brainstorming. For you to, one technique that will help you in being creative in your thinking is brainstorming. Now, when I say brainstorming, I want you to remember that you can never brainstorm if you are alone. For you to brainstorm, you must have supporters. They can be other people, they can be your teachers, they can be your mentors. We can brainstorm through books, or we can brainstorm through positive media. By positive media, I mean positive books, positive channels, I mean positive magazines. So you now start brainstorming. You, you have gathered the information, you have considered obvious things. Now you go out of your way. That is to brainstorm. You go out of your way to see what is it now that you want to do. Now here you start planning. When you brainstorm, in the process you plan. You can never be creative without a plan. So which additional solutions can be added to this? You talk to people, you ask people around, I am feeling hungry. And if I take one mandazi, sitashiba. Somebody sat somewhere and thought, oh, njaa ni kitu tu ya unaangalia, bora macho imeona chakula mingi, unashiba obvious. Mtu akaunda baking powder, unaweka mandazi inakuwa kubwa. That person thought outside the box. I mean, like there is no box. He came up with baking powder to confuse our eyes. Kaunga ni kidogo, inafura inakuwa kubwa. At least this person has solved a big problem here. So you look for additional solutions. Now, after you have brainstormed, and that brainstorming, I'll want you to go and dig deeper into it. After brainstorming, you now consider how all the things you have done, how do they connect? How does the new solutions you're thinking about connect to the old ones in bringing a solution? How do they connect? Consider how the topics you have picked connect to each other. Once you start connecting, remember we say connect the dots. You can never connect the dots looking ahead of you. You connect the dots looking behind. You've left the dots, Now you go connecting those dots. Unaona, oh, this is the obvious solution. This is what is obviously done. This is like I've seen mentor there, mentor ameniaibisha. Unachoma aje mahindi na ungesiaga tungekula ugali. I'm trying to connect my dots there and see seriously how do we solve this? How do we become creative? But thank God he became creative. He knew that akipika ugali hawezi kuja nayo hapa. So he carried maize because he knew that's portable. At least he was trying to connect the dots. So connect the dots to all the information you have. Once you connected all the dots, you have brainstormed, you have gathered all the information. Now it's time to do the most important thing. Why were you doing all these things? You are doing them so that you get a solution. Now it's time to apply the solution. Now, this is the time to apply that solution that you have come up with. So I've just given 5 points there. I've given 5 points. I've said, gather the information you already have, consider the obvious solutions or the obvious process, brainstorm. This is where you brainstorm for additional solutions. Then consider how the topics connect. Consider how these topics connect. And lastly, apply the solution. Apply the solution. Now, we are talking of this as a creative thinking, as creative thinking. Now, how will you enhance the creative thinking? We have just seen some techniques. How will you enhance? How will you make yourself to be a creative being? How will you adopt to creative thinking? That's what you're talking about here. So, ways of enhancing creative thinking. You realize I'm going extremely fast because my mentor told me, Sir Kennedy told me he needs enough time. So I know I'll give him more than enough time. Number one, how do you become creative in your thinking? Number one, accept new undertakings. This is one way that will make you know how to enhance your creative thinking. Accept new undertakings. When I talk about accepting new undertakings, these are things that differ from the usual. You should accept to do something that is not normal, something that is not usual. I'm not saying you do abnormal things. I'm saying do something that nobody is doing. So you should always try to accept new undertakings. Remember, it's always said a change is like a rest. A change is like a rest. If you are reading a book na unasikia usingizi, you don't, and hujamaliza kusoma, unataka kuendelea kusoma, ni saa 4 mchana, do you go and sleep? No, you take a change like drawing. Remember, creativity is on the left side of our brain. So you accept new undertakings, something that is different. Point number 2, listen to those around you. Listen to those around you. That is very important. Do not live in a cocoon. Do not live like somebody who has been locked in an egg. Any creative being, anybody who has this creative thinking. I know what walisoma creative thinking CRE class. Now, anybody who's creative in his or her thinking will listen to those around. Remember, when listening, people do not tell us, do not decide for us. People advise us. Always listen and understand your surroundings and environment. Understand your environment, understand your surrounding, and listen to those around you. What are they saying? Upepo inaenda upande gani? From that, you become very creative in your thinking. Very creative in your thinking. Here comes another one. Ask new questions. Ask new questions. Now, we have a problem with most of us that we love new solutions. We love new answers. We love them. But how do you want to get a new answer if you're asking the normal questions? Try to ask new questions. And anything you see must be questioned. Anything you see must be questioned. And when you're saying questioning, if you see something, ask yourself, we know the W's, eh? We know the W's and the H. Why? Where? When? Who? What? How? Those are the things you must ask in everything you do. Every time you're trying to solve a problem, anytime you're trying to stand out of the crowd, remember to ask yourself, why? Why is this the way it is? Where? And where, mostly you should ask where in connection to the future, the next step. Where is this leading to? When? When is the appropriate time to apply this? When is the appropriate time to apply this? Who? And who, I like telling my people, when asking who, it should be followed by responsibility. Anything I'm going to do, who takes the responsibility? And this who, your thumb, the thumb theory will always tell you, pointing back at you. Who am I affecting in the new ways I'm doing? Who? And who takes the responsibility? It should come back to you. If the responsibility falls back to you, then you will be very creative, because in your way of coming up with new things, you will realize that the new things you come up with will be positive things. And then what? And when we ask what, we should talk about outcome. What is the outcome of this new thing? What is the outcome of me standing out? And then how? When you talk about how, talk about apply. When you talk about how, we talk about apply. So in short, I'm saying you must have a checklist. You must have a checklist. This is a way of enhancing your creative thinking. You must have a checklist for your creativity to blow or to blossom. And then lastly, do one thing differently each day. Every day, make sure there is something you are doing different. I remember when I was in primary school, that is so many years ago, so many decades ago. Sijui ilikuwa 70 something ama nini. We were told that if you're right-handed, when you wake up in the morning, just brush your teeth using your left hand and see how your day changes. When you're right-handed, brush with your left hand and you will be surprised. You will come from there with a very different mind. As you struggle to brush, and I remember brushing teeth is a skill that is learned in school, which should not take less than 5 minutes. Wengine mnasugua na sekunde mbili umemaliza. Ananiambia umesugua meno. Now, use the dominant hand to brush your teeth. You are doing something different. Now, try something else. Try something different. I was surprised in catering. You know, I can't talk without talking about food. I was surprised in catering that the hand that takes the food to your mouth should be the dominant hand. Ukishika inaitwa fork, na ile knife. Ukizishika, knife ndio inashikwa na active hand. The dominant hand ndio itashika ipeleke kwa mdomo. Yeah? But when you have washed your hands and you want to use the natural fork, People will always use the active hand. Try. Ukienda kukula wewe umenawa mkono, kula sima na mkono ile dormant. Kama wewe right handed, kula na left. Kama wewe lefty, kula na right. And you uone kama ni kwetu there's a competition of eating, uone vile watu watakuacha. But in that process that you're trying to do something different, you are enhancing your creative thinking. The left part of your brain grows. Remember, our brain is elastic, and it will only take in what you practice. It is elastic and it can stretch to any limits. So how are you creating that part to be very creative? Do something different each day. I'll wish people will tell us here later what they are planning to do different. What they are planning to do different. I once told Chasia, we were talking about this, and I told him, do something different every day. And I realized when you tell people to do something different, it should be guided. Because Chasia nilienda nikapata anakula sapa. And I was surprised. He was sitting on the table and the food was on the chair. He told me, I'm doing something different, as you said. Now, when you're trying something different, it should be guided. It should be guided. Do not just do a different thing that is not guided, that will not lead to a positive solution. You are just trying to grow. And as young people, our minds are very elastic. Let us fill them with positive things. Let us pull the elastic part of our brains by doing something different every day. My mentors, I won't go into much. As I said, I'll be extremely brief. I wanted to add about 6 thinking hats. The 6 thinking hats, they also help us to be creative. We have the white hat, which talk about facts. When you are dealing with something, this is an addition, inaitwa bonus. When you are dealing with something, have the 6 hats. Hata kama utazichora physically. The first hat should be white in color. That means facts. That means facts. Is what you are doing founded on facts, or is just hearsay? Then you should have a red hat, and the red hat, and that is red because it shows emotions. Never try to come up with a solution if your emotions are attached to it. I really thank Daktari yesterday. He told us, Daktari told us I couldn't come because everybody was sick and I wasn't there. Because our emotions were affected. Angekuja bado hata hakuna kitu angefanya. Because hataki kuchanganya emotions with what we're doing. So the emotions heart should be there. Ukiona tu kile your solution or in your part of doing your things differently, and emotions are attached, stop. Go back and think. Take a U-turn. Then you should have a black hat. Black hat comes with judgment. A black hat comes with judgment. And here it is very clear the society always judges us. The society always judges us. Now, what you want to do? How do you want to be judged from this? Remember, the ultimate goal of being creative is standing out. Creative thinking, coming up with new solutions that are valuable. Then you should have a yellow hat, which talks about logic. Is what you're doing logical? Or you're just doing it because it's done? It should be founded on logics. Then have a green hat, and the green hat brings creativity. In everything you do, draw a green hat there and ask, is this creative? Is this creative ama ni ya kawaida tu yenye kila mtu hufanya? Is this creative ama ni ya kawaida tu yenye kila mtu hufanya? And then lastly, have the blue hat. And the blue hat, I'm changing that because it had some very difficult things for you. Always attach it to your spirituality. You know what, wanapenda connect blue with the sky, with the waters. Yeah, connect it to your spirituality. Is what you are doing accepted spiritually? Is what you're doing accepted spiritually? Or are you doing things because your peers are doing it? Thank you very much, my mentors. As I said, I'll wish to stop there and I'll be free for any questions. Back to you, Mentor Austin.
Wow. was amazing. Guys, help me appreciate Mentor Paragon Vincent. Debbie, I can see you. And Velma, thank you so much, guys. That was beautiful. And I think Mentor Vincent has really given me a challenge about the heart I need to possess. Yeah, green heart being the heart of creativity. You know, somebody could be wondering here, when we talk about creativity, what is that one key element of creativity? He has taken us through several, elements of creativity, techniques of creativity, how you can enhance creativity in you. But the major question goes back to you again. Are you creative? How will you know? How will you know if you are creative? For creativity to occur, for creative thinking to occur, it won't just occur in a void. It must occur in something called idea. Idea. You cannot talk about creativity without talking about an idea. So an idea is a paramount thing. You know, if today I see people suffering on the streets, yeah, and every time I pass there, my heart is remorsed, filled with a lot of pity. And I pass there from Monday to Friday, yeah, from January to December, and yet I don't do something. I don't come with, an idea that can help these people. Then I'm not creative. So many people are consumers. They are not producers. You know why? That is why you take the whole day watching a television. That is why I can see you have a bunch of series. Yes? Soap operas, those Masabuni, yeah? You have them. Why? Because you are a consumer. You are on your phone the whole day, just chatting and laughing at memes or memes, whatever you call them. The whole day, you're just laughing. I've not said fun is bad, but the whole day, imagine, you are laughing. Have you added value on yourself? You are a consumer. But today, are we able to have a different mindset of being producers? Oh, I love farmers. Those guys work very hard. Those guys wake up in the morning, just to do what? To go and make sure the seeds that they planted are growing. Yes? And then they don't stop there. They look after those seeds till they become seedlings, then up to harvesting time. Ask yourself, are you a producer or a consumer? And if you're a consumer, that is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Consumers don't have what we call creative mindset. That is why you can take your time the whole day watching television, because you're a consumer. By the time I realized television was wasting a lot of my time, I disconnected. By the way, I don't pay, in my house, I don't pay, how do we call it, this monthly subscription. I love football, imagine, but I can't pay for the TV. Yes, imagine. And nowadays, Manu knows that I can only watch Arsenal, only Arsenal and another team. And I stop there, pap. Yes, and I can only watch Arsenal if I don't have any pushing issue. Yeah, which means I don't spend a lot of time in front of that screen, watching people who are practicing very hard to enhance their skills. Imagine, who is a fool? Who is a fool? It is me, watching people portraying their talents. So, an idea is very important. And guys, let me tell you, everyone is born creative. By the time a child is born, Mikel, how is a child born? Are you born like a diver or born like this, Mikel?
You're born with your fist clenched.
Like this, is it? You are born like this. Guys, do you know the meaning of this? Mwende, do you know the meaning of this? Every child is born like this.
It means that you have something special that you're carrying. You're carrying something special inside you.
Thank you, Mwende. You are holding something. Hey, you didn't come like a diver. Manu, I know you love swimming. Yes? My friend, you are holding something. God, by the time God was bringing you into the world, there's something He placed on your head. And this thing is your power. This is what you are, whatever you're holding is the power that is here. You are creative. The creativity is here. You don't need to go to America to become creative. You don't need to go to another, you are creative already. It is only you to find out, what am I holding? Okay? Yes. So, guys, I know we are, from this meeting, we shall really work on our schedule. Our schedule. Hii mambo ya watch TV the whole day. No. Mambo ya simu the whole day. No. If you want to be creative, my friend, we have to go out of our way. Sir Kennedy Olaima, speak something.
Thank you, Mentor Austin. That is very powerful. People are born like this, which means they are carrying something. And I don't know at what point they leave this something that they are carrying to go away. But when they are coming out, they always have something. That is very powerful. I'll just speak from where you guys have left, because the topic we are talking, I will beg the guys with the video off, please put your video on so that we can also see whether we are talking to you or we are talking to a robot. So please let your video, it's part of discipline. It is just part of discipline to put your video on. It's just part of discipline. We can just practice it. Discipline can be acquired. So I would say that as we are talking of creativity, there's nothing we can always do without creativity. And the world of today and even yesterday need creative people. People who are so creative. I know people are praying, I will go to school, I'll finish, I'll get my own business, I'll start my own job. All these need a lot of creativity. And the mind is something very funny. That mind is always like a shamba, whereby you plant something. You see, the same shamba which can give you very big bananas is the same shamba which can give you bangi if you go plant there. So in other words, anything we plant in our mind, automatically it will germinate, just like soil. Today, take a seed of a mango, take a seed of bangi, for that matter, or bang. Take a seed of coconut, go and plant them. Trust me, they will grow, because the land or the soil itself will not have to say, no, you are poisonous, you are not supposed to grow here. You are very fruitful, you are supposed to grow there. So our mind is made in such a way that anything we plant always grow. Anything we plant, whether it is poisonous, whether it is fruitful, whether it is beneficial, whether not beneficial, anything we plant in our brain, it will grow. So what are you planting in your brain? I thank you once again in a very special way that you guys have chosen to plant some seeds in your brain. You may not see the fruits of what you're planting now, because now is planting season. But it will reach a point whereby once you have grown up, or when you have grown mature enough, you will realize, wow, these are the fruits of what I planted 10 years ago. Wow, these are the fruit of what I planted in 5 years ago. And therefore, whatever we are giving you, we are preparing you and we are giving you the advantages of life. We are giving you all the advantages of life. And it is you to plant them. They will grow. Mangosteen might not be in your scene during the time these fruits are growing or during these fruits are being ripe. Sir Kennedy might not be mentor. They might not be at your scene, because for those people who have been acting the drama, those who are in high school, those who are in primary, those who are in colleges, there was a point whereby we will walk out of your scene and your story will continue. What are you planting in your brain? And that's why I would still really, really thank Mentor Austin, because he's our developing curriculum developer. He sat down with his wisdom and also with his creativity to come up and say, what do? We need to come up with something to enhance our creativity so that we will fit in this kind of the environment. Because in this environment, it is only creative. We may not, this one might not make sense to us, because whatever we do around this time, say, mommy, I want shoes, mommy or daddy, I want a bike, or I want this 1, 2, 3. But then you don't know how creative they are. But at one point, it will dawn to you that seeds you are planting in that brain will one day germinate. It is you, and it's your responsibility now to choose which types of seeds are you planting in that brain. And as I'm talking about the creativity is everything. It is it is everything. I was laughing when Mentor Vincent was presenting, and he said that Mentor Austin just came with the maize. Instead of kwenda kusiaga hii mahindi and I was Mentor Vincent, I was also praying that at least that maize should be finished before you finish your presentation, because I don't know how Mentor Austin was supposed to come in and the mouth was full. I was watching him. Anyway, he had given it to be my present. That is creativity. You know, if he could sit where this maize was bought, to sit there eating until he finishes, time will be gone. So basically, I would say that boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we need to enhance our creativity. And I would want now just give you, how do you know? What are the signs which will show you that you are creative or somebody? And then I will give you the benefit and the importance of being creative. Those are the only 2 areas that I would want to talk about. Area number 1, what are the signs of creativity or the signs of creative people? People are very creative. After I've given you the signs, I will give you the importance why you should be. Let me use, at the moment, Vincent, you are doing English. Yeah, me and English, we've never been together, but we are still continuing. I will not say you should. Reason why you must be creative. I think that one is well clear. Reason why you must be very creative for you to go on. So number one sign of creative people. 1, they are sensitive but open to experiences. They are very sensitive but open to experiences. What do I mean by that? Let me qualify this for you. They are sensitive, for those people who are writing. They are sensitive but open to experiences. This type of people, they come up with new ideas. In a group, they come up with new ideas, but they are not rigid. If the ideas are not welcome, or if the ideas are not matching, or if the ideas are not being considered, there are people who will never be annoyed because they propose we go and watch football and somebody came up with another idea. So these are the type of people, they are very sensitive to come up with very new ideas. But then at the same time, they are very flexible. If you propose this is the way to go, I was proposing, then they evaluate this. Okay, you say we are supposed to go and play PS. It was Sir Kennedy's birthday. So which one do we go to? In Sir Kennedy's birthday, I know Mentor Vincent will really propose that because there will be a cake and basically they will be eating. Mentor Austin will say, no, I think we need to go watch football because Man U is playing. And therefore they start debating. So these people, they come up with the idea, but then they are very flexible. After they can reconsider the idea. They are not so rigid, whereby once you bring up the idea and say, come on, unasema hivi, wacha tuachane, they always consider the idea. So these people, one sign that you are creative or your friend is creative, and after gone through this, you will just pick which area do you fall. They are sensitive but open to experiences, and therefore they are flexible. Number two, they are passionate. These creative people, they are very passionate but very objective. They are passionate but very objective. I would want to explain this by saying they like and they enjoying or they love what they do, but they give room for adjustment. For example, one of us is doing, I think one of us is doing music, and the song will be out soon, maybe launching album or something. They give room for people to correct. Can you go through? I've done a book. I know Mentor Austin is doing a book. After he's done the book, he will give book to people and say, you people, can you add something on top of it? What do you think we can put in? You just don't be a one-man guitar. You are just, after you've done it, that is the end of it. So these people, they are very passionate about what they are doing, but they give room. They give room. They are very objective. They give room for adjustment. Those are creative people. So if you are in a group with some people, maybe in school, in church, in your community, and these people, once they create, they bring the idea and the idea are not supported, they walk away, those are people who are not creative. Because they will be giving room. As much as I'm so passionate about my book, the one I'm writing, as much as I'm so passionate about the song I'm doing, but I will still give it to the public. What, guys, what do you think I should add? What do you think I should remove? What do you think I should leave? So as much as they are so passionate about their talent, they are so passionate about the idea, but they give room for people to come and add some idea or remove. In other words, they are flexible also for correction. Those are creative people. The signs which show you you are a creative girl, or the sign which shows you your friend is very creative. Number two, these guys are so proud, yet they are modest. They are proud, but modest. Those are creative people. In this kind of the proud, and then they are proud, yet they are modest. I would want to explain this to you, that they are proud about the achievement. They are so sensitive and proud about what they have made, but they recognize the people who help them make that. In our panel where we have the mentors, we will say we are doing this as a team. After I've done the presentation, Mentor Austin will come and tell me, Sir Kennedy, you did it so well. I will say that, oh, today I presented so well. But then I'll recognize that without Mentor Austin, without Mentor Vincent, without other mentors, without you guys, people who are listening to me, I could have not done it. So they are proud, but they are sensitive to recognize the people who take them through the journey. Those are sensitive and very creative. Deskmate, then I think I would not have made it to this far. And therefore, these guys, they are proud about their achievement, but they are so modest about their environment. In other words, they recognize the people who help them move around, the people who help them to reach where they are. And lastly, about the signs which show you are creative, or which shows your creativity, is they are very realistic with their dreams. Those are creative people. They are very realistic with their dreams. You see, there are people who always keep on dreaming. They keep on dreaming, but they don't actualize their dream. The other time I was telling you, visualize today, but be motivated with what you want to become tomorrow. Visualize today, but be motivated with what you want to be tomorrow. In other words, take the advantage today, take the advantage of today, but be motivated of what you want to be. So today we have been given the advantage of how to enhance our creativity. Let's take that advantage. But at the end of the day, I know I want to be a doctor, I want to be a pilot, I want to be a farmer, I want to be all other kinds of professions. So visualize today, but be motivated with what you want to become tomorrow. In this world, these people are so realistic in their dreams. They take time to think about the future. They take time to think about the environment. They take time to think about the achievement. They take time to think about what the energy they are still remaining with. Imagine somebody is setting a goal. For example, you are doing KCP. So those who are going to do KCP, your goal, you have put 496. We are in third term. And your goal is, everything is possible. Your goal is 496 out of 500. But since you enter primary or since you enter class 8, you have never passed a target of 320. Is your goal realistic? Is it objective? Is it timely? So these guys, they are so realistic. They are so realistic in their dreams because they are checking the amount of energy remaining for them to do the task. They are looking at their environment. Is this environment going to enable me achieve what I want to achieve? For example, I'm performing music and I'm performing music in the church. Which people do I have to connect with? Which people do I have to go with? I want to be a mentor. I want to be a mentor. Then who are these people who are supposed to connect with me? So they are so realistic in their dream and they always check on the remaining energy. And if their energy is going down, they need to fuel it. How do you fuel your energy? For example, you want to be a mentor. You fuel your energy by reading books. You fuel your energy by joining mentorship program. You fuel your energy by looking at the friends who are sharing the same goal with you. And therefore, I would say people who are so creative, they are realistic in their dreams. And therefore, they avoid this wishful thinking. I wish one day when I grow, I dream, and then I see a big house. These people, they dream daytime. Achana hii mambo ya mna dream usiku. Una dream mtu anakukimbiza. I had Mentor Vincent is saying ati mtu akikojoa kwao alikuwa anachukua nyoka imekufa and then anafunga. Achana hizo dreams. Successful people dream daytime. You take your time and you reflect on yourself. Wachana hii mambo mnaota ndoto mbaya mbaya, mtu anakukimbiza na nyoka ingine anataka kuweka kwa. Achana hiyo ndoto mbaya mbaya. I'm talking of the dream. Successful people dream during the daytime. I don't want to say people who are dreaming during night, or you dream you have a big house, or you dream. And therefore, once they have dreamt, they actualize.